Hello and good morning. We're waiting for the snow to come. The weatherman said that we might not get as much snow and ice as they originally thought, but my feeling is I don't have to work this weekend. I'm very happy for that. And whatever happens, happens if we don't have any place to go. So, any rate, as you can see, as I'm holding this book, I'm doing a book review on The Glass Castle, which I recently read. I loved it. I don't know if this video shows up in reverse, but the author is Jeannette, and it was also made into a movie. And the topic of the book, the theme of the book, is a family of four children, and the parents, they just can't pull it together. The father has alcohol problems. They're a, they're a couple who they're very, very smart, but they kind of have this idea that they're a little smarter than the average bear, that the way other people live doesn't apply to them. So they wind up living, the father gets jobs and then he gets into a fight with his employer and loses the jobs, even though he's actually very good. He's like a skilled laborer. He's good at his job. They say he can take apart and fix any machine, but he has these interpersonal problems and the drinking that causes him to get into fights. The mother is they never say what her deal is. It almost sounds like maybe she was bipolar, because she would go on these spurts of creating art, and then she would take to her bed, and she kind of would flip back and forth. She really had no interest in anything domestic. In fact, one of the early episodes of the book is that the mom doesn't feel like making dinner, so the 3-year-old author is cooking hot dogs on the stove, unsupervised. The family winds up moving from place to place, back and forth across the country. They, as they lose a job, and then they'll go look for a new job. But on the other hand, it's not all bad either. The parents really do seem to love the kids. They want to hold the family together, but neither of them is really psychologically equipped to deal with the responsibility. They enjoy the fun stuff. They like to take the kids out into the desert and do camping trips and look at the stars and, tell them stories, like the fun part, but they don't seem to want the responsibility part. So this girl grows up in this very, freewheeling, kind of almost bohemian type of lifestyle. But they're also extremely poor. There's parts of her life where she's rooting through the trash cans at her school to eat the food that her classmates didn't want, because there was simply no food in the house. Other times they decide to, like, she decides she wants her house that they're living in to look nice, so she finds this paint. She finds this yellow paint and starts painting. As she runs out of paint, has no more money, so now the house is yellow on the bottom and whatever the original on the top. I found this book very fascinating. Anybody who lived, I hate the word dysfunctional for families because I feel like it's been so overused, but anyone who has lived in a truly dysfunctional family can relate to kind of all the weird stuff going on. One of the weaknesses of the book, and this is kind of a criticism, and it's not even that she wrote it bad, but I wish that she had developed this theme more. The book actually opens with the author living in an expensive apartment in New York and coming either to or from some kind of like fancy schmancy party where you have to dress real nice. And she's in the car and she sees her mother rooting through trash piles. And the author is very embarrassed because she's afraid that if her mother waves to her and says hello to her, that people will either think that she allows her mother to live in squalor, which is not true. This is what the mother wants to do. Or she's also embarrassed that she's ashamed. And she'll think that people are judging her, that they're judging her mother. And I wish that she had developed that theme a little bit more. When she's very young, things happen in the family that she either likes or doesn't like. And it's hinted around as they're teenagers that she's starting to come to the realization that, hey, other people aren't living like this. Other people aren't eating out of garbage cans. Other people's parents hold on to a job and fix the house and clean the house and do all these, kind of normal things. And she's starting to feel ashamed, and her older sister is starting to feel ashamed. And I wish that she had developed that a little more, because she kind of morphs abruptly from, okay, this is our freewheeling lifestyle, to this is weird and I'm embarrassed. And she doesn't develop it as much as I would have liked to have seen that kind of transition to her awareness of, how things really are. So I'm reaching across. I'm getting the book. Is this upside down? Oh, good. It's not upside down. So the book is The Glass Castle. The author is Jeannette Walls. I completely recommend it. If you've read it, hopefully you liked it as much as I did. And if not, that's why there's more than one book in the world. And have a wonderful day and stay warm.